Hey you guys, so I thought today I would tell you my backstory with buying my first home because it was a roller coaster, and I just want to kind of give hope to people out there that might, be thinking about buying a home but kind of like, scared of the process and all that stuff, or just people who are younger, because I'm 36 and honestly it took me a long time to take that plunge. Plus I had a lot of credit issues that stopped me, and so yeah, I just figured, like, why not tell my story and hope it inspires someone. So here we go. Okay, so I just bought my house back in July. I don't really remember the date because it was just kind of like a whirlwind, and then it's just been off from there. So, but back in July, I bought my first home. This particular house that I bought, I live in a really small town in Texas. I'm from Dallas, and it's like millions of people, and now I live in a town of like 20,000 people. And so that's another story. But anyway, so this particular house, I was just driving the neighborhood. My grandmother and my mother actually are from this town. And so I'm very familiar with the town and everything. Where was I? Oh, so I was just driving the neighborhood and stuff, and I had seen this house way back, and I was like, I love that house. Like, it's just this cute little Tudor home. It sits way back, and just kind of like doing its thing. So I saw someone cutting the grass, and I just happened to stop, and I asked, like, hey, are you, interested in selling this house? Because I knew that the prior owner had passed away, and it happened to be the owner's son. So I asked him, I said, are you interested in selling? He was like, yeah, like, make me an offer. And so me and I'll say grandson, because the actual owner was his grandfather. So me and the grandson kind of just went back and forth for months on pricing, and just trying to negotiate and where everyone is happy. There was also another family member, actually two other family members involved. So it was an heir property. And if you know anything about heir properties, they can be really, really tricky. So a lot of people don't want to get involved, in buying a house that is heir property, because it can get pretty nasty. It can get pretty tricky. And so, but there was something about this property that I just fell in love with. And I had to have it. So the thing was, this was a fixer-upper. And boy, was it a fixer-upper. It really was. It was a fixer-upper. And at the time, I thought that I was only approved for an FHA loan. And if you know about FHA loans, they're very, very strict on their guidelines as far as improvements on the house and things like that. Like, it really has to be in really, really good shape. So I knew right off the bat that I was not going to be able to buy this house with an FHA loan. And so I was kind of just stuck. I was like, great, I love this house. I want it, but I don't know how I can make it happen. I was trying to look into, it's called a 403K or B or something, but it's a loan that gives you money to repair a house and to purchase the property through FHA. But like, nobody will touch them for whatever reason. No lender will touch those. So I couldn't find anybody that was willing to do that. So I was back at square one, and I was just like, great, I'm gonna lose this property. I don't know how to get it. And little light bulb went off in my head. And so I knew that my uncle and his friend were wanting to start investing and doing kind of like some flips and stuff like that. And so I called him and I was like, hey, yeah, so I have this house that I really want to buy, but it's a fixer-upper. And so I'm wondering if you would consider buying it and then fixing it up and then selling it to me for a profit. And he was just like, yeah. And so I was like, yay. So that started the process, you know, like I negotiated the price down. I won't disclose how much, but I negotiated a great price, let's just say that. And my uncle kind of went in and I think he did some more negotiations, and so got the price at, got the house at a really, really great price as far as, you know, for being a fixer upper. You want to get it as low as you can, you know, so that you can make a profit if you're flipping. So got the house, and I think they closed December, February-ish or something. I feel like February, but my dates are off. So winter time, let's just say that. It was the winter time. And so they closed and he started off, you know, he started working. Took a while because he does live in Dallas and the town I'm in is 2 hours away. So with, you know, having to do that kind of long distance, it did take a little bit longer. But anyway, so he pretty much just, you know, renovated it. I mean, it needed everything. Paint jobs, it needed new electrical, air conditioning, because it did not have central heat and air. And if you live in Texas, then you know that you cannot live in a house without central heat and air. I don't know how these people do it that don't have it, but God bless them. So it didn't have central heating air. It needed new electrical. It actually needed new plumbing, but we won't talk about that. So yeah, total redo, and I will include pictures so you can see the before and after, because it's really amazing what they were able to do with this house and to revive it and revamp it and make it this beautiful home that I live in today. So I felt like the story was a lot more intense. Like, I feel like there was a lot more to this story than that, but that's pretty much it. Like, you know, the thing is, it took so long that my loan kept expiring, and I kept getting like so nervous and so worried that something was gonna pop up on my credit that was gonna, you know, prevent me from getting the house. And I just like had anxiety for literally a year. You know, like I just, until I signed on the dotted line and I knew that this house was mine, technically the bank's, but you know, moving toward to be mine, I just like, I had anxiety because I wanted it so bad. Like I said, this is my first home. I've never bought a home. I'm 36 years old, which is so late in the game, I know. But at least, you know, hopefully this shows people that it is still possible. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can still become a home buyer. So I think it's really important, you know, to add that I worked with a really amazing bank. They made it so seamless, and just, you know, the process was just boom, bam, pow. You know, like I had heard horror stories about these banks that people, you know, work with and stuff, and just all the hoops and all this stuff. And I ended up not getting a FHA loan. I got an in-house type of bank program that they had. And honestly, I probably could have got the house the way it was, but it all worked out for the best. What else? So there was a lot. The reason why it took so long in the beginning was because, like I said, it was air property, and we were dealing with a particular family member that, of course, wanted to sell too, but they just was like, you know, they were unrealistic on the price. And it took a lot to get them on board to sell at the price that we were trying to get it for. And then there was also the process of trying to get it out of the grandfather's name because it had never got transferred, and the grandfather passed a long time ago. Like, I don't remember the exact time he passed, but I know it was probably before the 80s, I think. So yeah, that was a task in itself. And so the process just took a long time. It took a whole year. Yeah, it took a whole year from the time I stopped and asked him if he wanted to sell, which was in the summertime. And I did not end up purchasing the property until the summertime. So the next summer, the following summertime. So a whole year it took to get this, you know, property done and transferred and all of that stuff. But it was well worth it. I can say that I'm so happy that I experienced this and that I learned so much along the way. If I ever buy another house, I feel like I'm just going to be even more prepared than I was before, because I had already done so much research, and then actually going through the process, you learn so much more. The appraisal coming back like within $1,000 of what the sale price was for me, that was surprising because the property itself is on over an acre of land. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is, you know, the best property. It's in the city limits. So a whole acre, you know, like the house is totally redone. And I'm thinking I'll have like $30,000 worth of equity. And then he comes back and he's like, yep, $1,000, like, you know. And so that was a big blow to me because I was hoping to have equity going into the house that would help me with some real estate ventures that I wanted to do and stuff, but that didn't happen. But I just, you know, you live and you learn, and I learned that appraisals are not what you think they are, but it's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do separate videos to touch on a couple of things. One, how I fixed my credit, because you guys, I had a bankruptcy on my on my record. My credit sucked. And so I just want to kind of give some, you know, kind of backstory into how I did that. Also gonna touch on like some more mistakes and stuff that I made, and, you know, to try to like stop anybody from making those mistakes. And then some hacks that you can use if you're a first-time buyer that if I could, I would, but I can't. So I just want to pass on that info. Excuse me. So I just want to pass on that info to you guys. So like I said, this is just a kind of a quick video, just a little story time, just to tell you, like, if you have not bought your first house yet, there's still hope for you, I promise, because I am pushing 40, y'all, and I was able to do it. And I encourage everybody to become homeowners if you can, because it's amazing to have that freedom to just be like, unless the bank, you know, you don't pay the, you know, the loan and stuff, like the bank ain't tripping with you. And other than eminent domain, nobody's pushing me off of my property. So it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so happy I went through that experience, and I wish it for each and every person that wants to experience it. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about how I bought my first home. And if you have any questions, just drop them below, or if you just want to kind of like, you know, I don't know, leave a little word of encouragement, because God knows I need it. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.